So I'm not going to pull any punches on this one because you're a heavy hitter. Get right into it. Are we in heaven already?
If we want to use that word, sure, we can use that word. You could say this is paradise. This is what we're trying to seek when we're living through thought.
Mm.
Yeah.
When we're living
There
through
really is
thought.
no name for us though, or for what we are, but yeah, we
What
could
if
use
we
heaven.
can kind of touch upon it with a word? It's heavenly like.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's still all sensations, sadness, frustrations, but there isn't the incessant beliefs and minds bombarding you thinking you're not perfect already. You're
Mhm.
unworthy. You need to work harder, meditate more, fast, let things go. Like all of that noise subsides. So obviously there's a relaxation into this, but there's still pain. There's still the oscillation of pain and pleasure because there's the appearance of form. But obviously, when this drops, whoa, huge burden, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
So there's still the waves, the ups and the downs, the pain, the pleasure, but
yeah, of
it's more
course.
so going with the motion of the motion of the ocean, I guess you could say, and that's where the heavenly state abodes.
Well, it's not a place. It's just when you don't have these ideas of what heaven looks like, you're not trying to find it. You are it. So it's just when there isn't an idea of what heaven looks like, or paradise, or awareness, or God, or divinity. I mean, everything is quite interesting. You're like a kid again.
Hmm.
So even pain can be kind of juicy and interesting. Anger can kind of be juicy and interesting because you don't have a label for it. You're not shoving it into a compartment or a box going, you're not good. You are good. So there's like an open invitation to whatever's arising, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that become like a kid again. There's a quote from a Bible that I'm going to paraphrase.
Yeah.
Unless you become like children, then you will never be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I guess
Such a
that's
good
kind
one.
of, yeah, that's the gist of kind of, I think what we're getting at here is you have to
Yeah.
touch upon
Mhm.
that childlike curiosity in your life, and you'll feel that instance of that heaven like uh, vibration, I guess.
Well, you could say curiosity and innocence is a byproduct of beingness or presence or awareness, whatever we want to call our authentic nature. I mean, it's just natural for it to be curious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be because we don't know what our nature
Right.
is. So it's like
And
we
when you
have
don't
to.
know, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when you don't know, you almost like naturally have to seek it. I mean, if you're a conscious being, quote unquote, you would just naturally be curious and seek what your nature is. So it just makes sense.
Yeah. It's just that it's just there's a wonder to things because you're not living through a belief system that someone handed down to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use the word like human and wall and chair and tree and things like that, but those are just words
Mm-hmm.
pointing to the unknowable. I mean, you know, so we
Mm-hmm.
still use concepts and all of those things, but it's obvious that a tree doesn't know it's a tree, nor does it care if we call it a tree. They're just words. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. It's peculiar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where did this all come from for you? Kind of taking a step back here. Where did this all start? How did you get on this wavelength of realizing that you're already in heaven?
Oh, Jesus, man. I'll tell you what, a rodeo, we can say it was kind of like a rodeo. I didn't choose this. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it just kind of happens. It unfolds that way. But I can tell you a little story. I was raised Catholic and I was raised very dense kind of upbringing and conditioning. And when I was really little, I had a dropping away of self consciousness. It just, one night I was inspired to repeat my name like a mantra. And all of a sudden, Anna disappeared and there was just awareness. Now, this also coincided with lots of paranormal activity, like things moving, apparitions, doors opening and closing. So I had a really weird childhood. So obviously, when those things are those types of things are arising, you can't really go, oh, it's just like this, like Catholicism, how it's taught. Like that's the only way because I'm seeing things. Then the whole dropping away of self consciousness, there was nothing I could relate that to because I was raised in Christianity. But I entered the whole seeking path, you could say, because I came back, my depression, my anxiety, this sense of separation came back. So I tried to figure it out. but there'd be many instances where it would just stop. And it was just so obvious. Oh my God, this is it. This is home.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, heaven has to be super simple and all inclusive, not exclusive like spirituality and religion, right? You do this, then you can come in, right? No, open, open, baby, right here, right now. Like it's us. Even the taboo things we think about, that we think about ourselves, like, oh no, that cannot be in paradise. No, that cannot be heavenly. No, that can't be it either. Right? No, even the taboo stuff is it. Everything is it. Yeah. So in a nutshell, it just kind of seemed to arise that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird way to put it, right? Even the darkness is a part of heaven. Even the pain is a part of heaven.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when we call it dark, it just, it's all the one light source. Yeah. It's just within the appearance of form, there has to be the apparent opposite for contrast. Otherwise, there's no growth. There's nothing, literally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, but all of us, I think innately know this, like for this, I never trusted authority as a child. So I intuitively knew, like, you can't tell me who to be or what to do. I think we all intuitively know this. It's just, It seems to be shrouded over by the beliefs our folks and communities give us, which tells us basically you're shit or you're unworthy. It either can be on a very small scale, depending on how we were raised, or very big. Like, obviously each character is raised differently.
Mm-hmm. So you think there's within every single human being that little glimmer of light, that little glimmer of hope that knows, almost already knows intuitively that we're already here. We're already there, per se.
Oh my God, absolutely. We can't even talk without the absolute. Like, that's why it's appearing. You can speak. This can arise because you are.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that simple. Light source, here we are appearing. You close your eyes, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It is because you are. So simple. So obvious.
Right? Yeah. Hidden in plain sight.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what takes us further away from that? Are we just playing a game? Is this just the absolute playing a game with itself? And I don't know. Are we just a little too lost in the character of the game and we forgot about that?
Well, nothing can be taken away from it. You can say part of us knows what is going on. Totally. There's part of us that's always fully confident, awake, knows what's happening, obviously. So we do know intuitively already. That's why we can hear these words that are and it's like, oh my God, it's that simple. It's this already. But what will also come up with that is combative belief systems of, no. I was told I was unworthy. I was told I had to work hard. I was told I had to fast and meditate, Anna. Like, that's what they did. So that's what I have to do. We're very much taught to follow the leader and not listen to our own authentic self, which is beating as our hearts right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say this is what the core of most spiritual belief systems are actually pointing to, without the dogma, without people twisting the words and using them for power and control? Would you say, like, the most, at their core, at their essence, at their almost origin point is what we're kind of trying to get at right now?
I can't say. I really can't say. I mean, it's all oneness and beingness, but oneness obviously is playing with itself. So it'll contort and play as religious figures, cult leaders. I mean, because it's Leela. Now, what I'm talking about is beyond the whole Maya, the show, the circus, right? Because the circus is still going to go on. The story will go on. This movie, this light show will go on. It's just you're aware, you're lucid, that it's a dream, that it's not real. It only seems to be real. Yeah, it does. But it goes on just for isness, you as the absolute, not as a personal fractalized insecure being floating off on a marble in space. Like, you're aware, you're confident, and you know intuitively what this is. Yeah.
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 So when somebody says that they, are God, that's kind of the essence, right? You're a son of God. That is what you are. Like, you're the absolute, but you're playing this game of not being the absolute. Like, you're God that purposely forgot they were God for a little bit, for a game, for a show.
I guess you could say that. I mean, no description will actually do You know what I mean? We're kind of
Yeah.
flirting with words, but no word, no description can actually pin us down. That's why this is so free. And that's what's seen when you're resting as yourself, as awareness is. It's all a story. It's all a big library. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
just now you see it's a library. And so we can read the books, we can play in stories and have a good time, but recognizing none of it's actually real with a capital R.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So words, you understand, I understand, will never be able to tap into that true thing that the words are pointing toward, the finger pointing at the moon type of thing. So what are we doing here? What are we, like, literally, what are we doing on the Zoom call with my podcast and what you do on
Yeah.
YouTube? Like, what would you say? Where does that come from? Where is that? What's the
Oh, the same
purpose?
thing where anything comes from, where sound comes from, sensation. It's source. It's oneness. It's the mystery appearing as knowable things. It's not really a thing though. So yeah, it's just like a dream at night. That's why the dream analogy is so powerful. This is arising like a dream. We can't hold on to it. It's just fleeting phenomenon arising. Now, obviously, there is no actual purpose to this. There's just inspirational movement and passions. I like to, say, why do birds sing? Why do squirrels eat nuts? It's just what they do. So you and I as characters, this is what we talk about. For other characters, they may be mathematicians or bakers or candlestick makers. They are equal, though. Please know this is not more special or better than someone who has a different type of occupation. It's just these characters arise and are inspired to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find it funny because it's like you said, there's other occupations. It could be a
Mhm.
baker, painter, whatever. But
Mhm.
this occupation is the character playing the character. Oh, there we go. Okay,
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. The character playing the character of realizing that he's a character in a movie. You know what I mean? It's like breaking the fourth wall on reality in a way.
I get what
It's
you're
just
saying.
funny. It's like there's a sense of humor to that, and sometimes I even laugh at what I do online. I'm like, it's just funny in a way. Like there's some kind of grand cosmic humor to the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah. I
doesn't make
mean,
any logical sense. Yeah.
yeah.
At
I
all.
mean,
Yeah.
life in general, I think, is just a giant joke. There is a grand cosmic humor to life in general. I believe, at
Mhm.
least my life, I find myself just laughing at events that happen and synchronicities that happen and that just remind me that, yeah, man, it's all a joke. You feel that?
No, I get you. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get you.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Mm. Yeah, so that's the thing. Is like, how would you, I mean, this is all hypothetical, obviously.
Hmm.
Somebody's in pain,
Hmm.
emotional, physical pain, and
Yeah.
they're going through it. And you're saying that they're in heaven. Like, how would you even, if they say, Anna, how am I in
Oh, well,
heaven?
if they're having emotional distresses and they're freaking out and living through conditioning and beliefs, I would not say in that arising that they're having the experience of heaven. They're having the opposite experience. I mean, it's the appearance of hell because hell is a mental, it's a consciousness. It's
Hmm.
not really a place, it's a consciousness.
State of
It's an
mind. Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which obviously oneness does appear as that which we call totality does. Um, but most of the times, what we're having these big breakdowns is because we're living through beliefs of unworthiness, imperfection. I'm not there yet. That will make me happy. You move over there and then I'll be happy. It's always about this outside circumstantial stuff. But when it's seen that there really is no outside or inside and time space is an absolute fabrication, it's a projection of consciousness. It's not solid and real. Oh my God, all the type of mental suffering has to stop. It has to dwindle. Neurosis has to dwindle because that is connected to time and your story of suffering. Right. So obviously, I don't give out much advice, but it's always to return to yourself, return to breath, and do something you like to do. Go dancing, go hiking, sing, paint your face, because what we call awakening to presence or this is just simply being here and enjoying life here, right? Because most of the time when we're up here, we are living in past or we're living in future, which don't exist at all.
That's not heaven.
So no, I mean, well, we could say obviously it's freedom. Freedom has all options. We're talking about infinity. We can't say freedom and then go, oh, it's just this. No, freedom can play in hell. That's how free we are. We are so
Yeah.
free. We are so powerful, we can play in that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I like that.
That's
Yeah.
freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, if we weren't truly free, then we wouldn't have the ability to really, I guess you could say, mess this up, to really dig our own grave in a way. And
Right.
some may
Yeah.
say that's what we do, you know, with the idea of karma. It's like we built
Mm.
up a lot of karma, one could say. And
But there isn't any, unless you're just living in through a thought form or a belief. But there really is no such thing as karma.
yeah.
Karma really only exists if you have a mind.
Mm,
No mind, no karma. Think about it.
mm,
It's a thought form. It's a belief system. When you're aware, there's no beliefs that you're clinging to. You're just there as presence.
mm-hmm,
There's no karma in presence. There's no karma in awareness
mm.
because there's no time in awareness. Yeah,
Just another idea. Yeah.
absolutely. And you're not an idea though. This isn't an idea we're talking about here. So that's one thing I got to really point out is I'm not selling an idea, and we're not talking about an idea. We're talking about your original nature, which is not an idea. It's what's left when ideas fall, when beliefs fall, when thoughts fall. And you're left with something so simple, so silent, and so direct and immediate.
Mm.
Yeah.
The here and now, baby. Right
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what you said too. Do what you like.
Mm.
Do what you like, because I think we can all relate to that. When you're doing something that you truly like, playing an instrument, painting a picture, you know, writing, whatever it is, doesn't it seem like you just fade into that? Like you
Yeah.
become whatever that is. You know, you're going surfing, you're one with the wave. Like you
Mm.
fade into that. You're not worrying about what you have to do tomorrow. You know, maybe the weird thing that you said yesterday. There's no past or present. I'm sorry. There's no past. There's no past or
No, I get
future.
you.
There's just the
I get,
present.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we could just, whatever word we want to call it, this. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, memories appear, but just
Mhm.
because there's a flash of a memory, that's just phenomenon arising. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not solid.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to convey, I feel like, is that the balance between the dualistic, this is obviously just an idea as well of, well, there's nothing going on, quote unquote, or there's everything going on, you can whatever way you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So that to somebody that doesn't know any better could spring about, ideas could spring about of, well, what am I going to live for then? You know, like almost a sense of nihilism, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, that
But I
arose
would
here.
think it's
Yeah,
actually opposite to that. Like there's something in me that says, well, if this is all a dream, I'm going to make this the greatest dream of all time,
epic. Yeah,
right?
totally, man. Oh no, seriously, it can go either way. I mean, nihilism arose here in kind of some like despair and stuff like that, you know, because there's a lot of clinging and attachments. But also, yeah, the flip side, man. It's like when the fear goes and you recognize what this is. Yeah, it's like, what's to lose? Like, what's
Exactly.
to lose in a way? Yeah,
Yeah.
inspiration arises. Yeah,
Nothing to lose, everything to gain. But
in a
also nothing to
sense.
gain. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 totally. I know. And
Uh,
our words are always going to fall short because they're dualistic. They're rooted in form, you know.
yeah.
But we're doing our best, man.
This is this is just going off. Do you think in the future, right? Words are like, you know, we're literally just what we're doing right now. It's just using our mouth noises. Like we're
Mm.
almost like dancing with our tongues. I know that sounds weird, but that's literally what's happening. And sounds coming out. And that's how our brains are telepathically communicating through time and space. But it's kind of slow, and like you said, it creates a sense of dualism. Do you think like in the future, like our communication will be different than using words, almost like true telepathy through our technology, and that will enable us to connect a little bit easier or quicker or more efficiently? And maybe these states that we're talking about, which isn't even states, but the state that we're talking about will be easier to convey to others and easier
Well,
to maybe comprehend.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, even now, there's beings who have, you know, those types of what we call psychic type of things, where there's just imprints. They can sense what's going on with somebody, or they can that kind of relay thing going on because they're just energetically open. Sure.
Hmm.
But what we're talking about now too is every word is actually holding the energy of what we are. When there is no mind, when you're just there as yourself, every word is holding the energy of totality. So that's why it's not so much like, let's take notes of what's being said. it's like listen like it's music, because this is just energy. It's just all energy. So yeah, you could say it's going to get simpler and refined, but either way, it's this now. Every word is this now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an
Listen.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
music. I like that.
yeah.
That's
No
what you
notes.
do.
You don't need notes. Yeah.
Yeah, when you listen to a song, you just get lost in the song. You're not waiting for the end of
Mm,
the song. You're not
yeah.
taking notes. Maybe if you're like a musician, I don't know, but
Mm,
you're just so engrossed
yeah.
in the composition of it that you just it's that like you said, you just it's something to do here. You just when you're listening to music in this example, like you're just
Mm,
engrossed in that
yeah.
song. So yeah, just treat the words like the
Well, it's
song.
just like it just does its own thing. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Hard to explain, that's for sure. All of this is
Yeah.
hard to explain because it is
Uh-huh.
truly inexplicable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, perfection's now. So it's like, we can go into the future of like, oh, in 10 years, 20 years, this will be, beings will get this much quicker, 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 quicker. But it's like perfection's now, perfection's now, perfection's now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfection is now.
Hmm.
Imperfect perfection or perfect imperfection.
Yeah. Whatever you'd like to call it.
Whatever
Yeah, it's
flavor.
this. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's just either like more energy comes into your body. Totally. Because we're no longer kind of even, because there really is no future. I mean, it's going to rise as this, but it's, everything just becomes so immediate. The past and the future really just fall away because like this is the juice.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So to someone
But
that,
not as an idea either. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's get into the now. Let's be present, be here now, that kind of thing. Like, I mean, really, it's seen there is no time.
yeah,
That is an
yeah,
absolute appearance. Yeah.
time, yeah, exactly. It really is an illusion.
Hmm.
One of the
It
strongest
does arise
illusions.
though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to arise.
Yeah. Here we are, man. Hi.
Hey, it's happening.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. Here we
Yeah.
are. Hmm.
Hmm. So
Mm,
to somebody that thinks we're one step away from a psych ward from this conversation, how
sure.
could you explain if somebody this is all a hypothetical situation, obviously.
Hmm. Yeah.
Somebody comes up to you and says, and you got 5 minutes, right? They're like, Anna, how do I perceive what you perceive in your point of view? Like how do I get here? Like, where does this, like, what are you doing? Because I think I know, and this isn't to talk like we're high and mighty, in any kind of pompous whatsoever, but it's just kind of the truth. Someone that doesn't know any better, they're gonna think we're crazy.
Mm,
Like definitely, like
sure.
no one likes. They're just not gonna. It's like they just have no idea, and that's not like I said.
Hmm.
We're not better than anybody because of that.
Hmm.
But
No.
you have to recognize, right, that if you were to speak like this to somebody else that has no recognition of it, they would be completely confused. And like I said, there's
Yeah.
no superiority there. So how would, not that you're trying to convince somebody, but what if somebody genuinely wants to be convinced? Like they're asking you, like, what's all this about? Like, what's the secret sauce to this kind of non-dual perspective? Like, how could you explain that simply?
I gotta tell you this, man, is life meets life where they're at, so to speak. So
Mm,
it's not a one size fits all. So each being I speak to or arises, life bends to where they need to be met, so to speak. It knows what to say. It knows how to say it, the tone, the flavor, the texture, everything. So I can't give you like a little note card of like, this is what I say,
yeah, yeah,
because it's so unique
yeah.
to each character. It could just be, let's look into each other's eyes. Let me hold your hand and let's just talk about everyday mundane things, so to speak. For
Mhm.
others, it's like, let's get right into it. It's like, but the being needs to be right in front of me, so to speak, because
I
it's so
see.
unique. Yeah.
Hmm.
To say what they need to hear, because it's not a one size fits all. It's really not.
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter explanation. I see.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that makes a lot
Right.
of sense. That's very well put.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like we've already covered a lot of ground, and it's only been like what, not even
It
15
goes
minutes
by
or something like that.
lightning fast, man, lightning fast. But I will tell you this though, just to kind of go back to what your question is, the generalization of, returning to your breath, because
Mm,
when we return to our breath, we start to slow down the nervous system. We're not so up here. And when that can start to kind of slow down, this can open up energetically and one can be more receptive to it, so to speak, because you're awake. The body can kind of close down and get claustrophobic, just like when you close a curtain. The window's still there. You know what I mean? So the body can kind of relax and release, and then there can be the, ooh, that's why breath is powerful, because breath is also it.
yeah.
Invisible nature appearing as the visible, allowing this to even be animated. Yeah. And then also doing something you enjoy doing, because when we do that, like you were talking about, self-consciousness goes. You get lost in it. You're just there as awareness. There's no self-consciousness. But the thing is, when we stop doing the things we love, like reading a really good book or doing a puzzle, we come back and we go, oh my God, my shit, my life. Oh my God. Self-consciousness rises again. Yeah. But we think when we're doing the reading or the puzzle, like sometimes we think, how do I explain this? That we should be more focused. You know how sometimes when some beings think when that's gone, that's bad. That
Yeah.
control-y kind of mechanism, no, that's what we're speaking about. That's the end of self-consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if we could put, I mean, there's countless labels, but I mean, if we can condense the label, I'll try. If I can condense the label to what our identity is, would you say it's more of like not even? It's not a solid. It's not. There's no solidity. Or would you say it's closer to be defined as almost like a energetic flow? Like there's almost like the Tao or the way, and that's more touching upon what our innate nature is, right? It's more of just like the energetic flow, same as the wind flowing in the ocean's waves and nature just doing its thing. Is that more so closely related to this awareness that we speak of?
I mean, you could say it feels like a flow. We can say that, but I don't want to say flow either. Because that's inaccurate. I mean, the formless is the form. So we could
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it's solid and yet it's liquid. It's vapor and yet it's concrete. It's, you can't box this in. And that's the freedom of this. It's everything and nothing. So it can be solid. It could also be liquidated. That it's magic, dude. It's so magical.
It's
It
magic.
cannot be put into a finite word. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I get the word flow, because when there is no mind and resistance and seeking, it kind of just feels like you're being carried, because
Yeah.
there's no time anymore. You're just, yeah, I get you. But I
Flowing
don't want to pin that
through.
down. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. What if we
Mm.
pin it down to the word love?
Unconditional, I would say.
Mm.
Unconditional love. Or I would say neutrality, which would be, I would say, synonymous with unconditional love, because it's so open, so free, and it's beyond human mind, that it embraces and allows all, including the spooky stuff, the shitty stuff, the painful stuff, and the beautiful, wonderful, amazing things as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
Neutrality. That's a new one for
Yeah.
me. Neutrality.
Yeah. Think of it like
Like,
this for a sec, like a whiteboard. Okay. The whiteboard is there. Now we can take those expo markers and draw all kinds of stuff on it, right? But at the end of the day, you erase it, the whiteboard remains. That's us. Yeah.
we're all just whiteboards.
In a way, yeah. So let's play. You can write on it. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't stick. Yeah. It doesn't stick.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Hmm. Are you an artist other than like the art that you create online? Do you have any kind of art form?
I mean, sometimes I paint, but I like to sing. I like to dance a lot, like constantly, like every day. So I would say that would be my art, but that and poetry and the writing. Yeah.
Hmm. That's
Mhm.
cool. Just curious.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something special about art. Being so engrossed in art. That's an aspect to be a human that I think a lot of people are missing. So just that act of creation, whatever it is, just getting lost in that flow of creation. It's so important, just for a sense of peace.
Well, but art may not be peaceful for some other characters, because that's another rule book right there. We should be doing more art, because look what we're setting up. We're spinning a web now for beings to get stuck in, including yourself. So There is no right or wrong, art or no art. I mean, you could be boring as a dull dud, but that's oneness. But being boring as a dull dud or being a wallflower, I mean, for that character, that's okay for them. They don't have this idea of I should be doing art. Because if that character has the idea now of I should be doing art, now we're going to force it. It's not authentic. It's not natural. We're not all here to be artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shirt or
Yeah.
shootings. Just throwing it out there.
No, I get it. It's just, yeah. But you get it though. It's just then if the mind is listening, if the seeker's listening, it just wants something. It wants a prescription, and then it hears,
Yeah.
ooh, just go. You know what I mean?
It's the prescription.
Not hearing that it's already you're perfect. Fuck the art. You don't need art. You're the art.
Yeah,
right here, right now. You are the masterpiece. It's just been forgotten by this, by beliefs and stories and all kinds of stuff. It's looking through your eyes.
And listening through your ears.
Yes, you can't get closer to it, art or no art. You're the art.
We are the art and the artist.
Yeah. Already. Yes. Already. That's why this stuff doesn't really sell though. You know what I mean? Because there is no recommendations in the sense like, who wants to hear that you're already it and that you're already perfect? I mean, the mind.
You need to hear that.
yeah. I mean, because it lives on, the sense of separation lives on me, not good. This is not enough. Give me something else to do so I can get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always about an exchange or compromise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being able to, I mean, there's nothing that you have to do. There's nothing that we have to be. So, I mean, just kind of like stop talking right there. But in the way that, well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
In the example that we're speaking of, it's like, there's nothing to do. Like, there's nowhere to be. There's nothing that we have to, become and do here. But it's still going to arise, right? It's to recognize that you don't have to do anything. There's no way that you have to become an artist or you have to do this or do that, but there's still going to arise in the mind, right? There's still going to be that human nature aspect. We're still going to have desires and pleasures and pain, like we said, but it's almost like there's that other layer of discernment. It seems like there's that other layer of discernment that is present with this mindset, with this perspective, right? It's, even though it's really not, it's all one. But this thing,
well, you could say there's a natural discernment, but I mean, when beingness is appearing as a human. Yeah. So, I mean, what drops is this idea that you need to earn being, earn God, earn heaven. You're already it. So, like we were sharing earlier, when fear, doubt, insecurity, AKA self-consciousness dissolves, you're just there as you, right? And there's still the character, there's still the personality and the flavor. And that character may want to be a sailor. It may want to make truffles. It may want to talk like about non-duality, but it's just what's arising. It's absolute natural authenticity and inspiration. You're not doing it because someone told you to do it.
Yeah.
Beingness is already, we can't even talk without the light of beingness. We are that. Yeah,
that's what I find funny, like I said, is that, and I truly think you are being authentic, and you are authentically a person that is being somebody that is telling the world that there is no somebody, and that's just a joke in itself. That's just a giant, this aha, you're the punchline to the entire journey of what you are. That makes sense,
right? Yeah, I get you, but you go on, and it's like the character goes on. Like you know, it's so weird. It's like in the beginning, so to speak, we're trying to get rid of the character, transform it, make it more holy and purified, and all kinds of shit. And then in the end, I'm using these as air quotes because there really is no end or beginning. The character is a fucking gift. Like it's a vessel. I mean, it's a gift to have the flavor of a female or male or whatever it is, like to be used cool.
Yeah.
It's not a burden anymore. It's not an obstacle to get away from. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So would you say that's the switch? It's that the perspective on life, this oneness, is that it goes from your life being a burden to being a blessing?
You could say that, but I don't even want to say that either, because I mean, there could still be challenges and obstacles. It's just even when, let's say, the toilet screws up and breaks down, is that what you call a toilet breaking down? Stops working.
Clogs,
There can
yeah.
be like, oh gosh, we got to call the plumber, and there can be some cramps in your day or whatever like that, but it's just not as heavy anymore. You know
Yeah,
what I
less
mean? Because I don't think
attachment.
you'd be like, water splaying over my house is a blessing. I don't think you'd be saying that. Maybe, but you get me. It's just what's arising and what's happening. There's no longer like, woe is me. Why is this happening? Did I do something wrong? It's just chop wood, carry water. Okay, we
Yeah.
call the plumber now. Change our clothes. La la la.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It
So
feels
that's
very
the
normal
thing.
and natural. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we'll say, stuff like that happens with the toilet breaks or you stub your
Hmm.
toe or you get in a
Hmm.
minor car accident, whatever it is, just our
Hmm.
inconveniences of life.
Yeah.
There's less of that. It's like the event will still happen, the event still may cause suffering, suffering will arise, but it's like afterwards in a way. There's no clinging to the afterwards fact. It's like just part of that the character's play, and you can always reside as that as the one that's viewing it. Like you're still being in the play and having the events happen in the play and the certain scenes that pop up. But it's like there's that almost, and it's not, I know it's not another vantage point, but it almost seems like another vantage point to view the events of the play from. You get what you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I see. There's some back and forth there, though. Me, not me. There's two different perspectives going on there. What I'm sharing is a collapse into an immediate intimacy, like you're a cat. There isn't even a thought that comes up and goes, let me pull back, let me go to this perspective. Like you are just there, like you're aware, or you're just there as presence and awareness. There isn't self-consciousness anymore. So I can only report what arises here. But there isn't this idea of, oh, let me get to the other vantage point, kind of like in spirituality, there's a higher self. It's just you're there. And then there could be the crash, the adrenaline. But I gotta say, there is a lot of spaciousness around what arises.
Yeah,
There's a buffer.
that's what I'm
There could
getting
still
at.
be yeah, but it's not you oscillating between perspectives. It's just you're there immediately, like you're one with the experience, like
It's
a
you're
cat,
Yeah,
like a
you're
cat,
one.
is a cat. Yeah.
But then being one with the experience is actually an empty experience at the same time. And I know there's
Yay. Yeah.
no there it's yeah, I'm like I know I'm
I get you.
dancing
I get
between
you.
two
Yeah, I
poles,
get you.
but
I get
it's
you.
not that's like the dance is the non-duality, if that makes sense.
This right here is non-dual. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as duality if we want to take it that way. Duality doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
It's an appearance. So this is already not two. Holy crap.
Mhm.
So this doesn't end, Gary. The
The
Anna and
dance
Gary
doesn't end.
show can still go on. The Anna and
Yeah.
Gary show, yeah, it can still go on. It's just there's no longer separate. There's no insecurity. There's no doubt. And it wasn't because did 100 mantras or meditated. Like when you're your authentic self, which so many call awareness, like there's just not insecurity anymore. There's just
Mm.
not. You were taught insecurity. We were taught doubt. We were taught to be fearful. We were taught time, space. So that's why we can't learn beingness. Beingness already is. It's just allowing those things to appear as a personal experience until it ends.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
But this still goes on. Yeah.
Mhm. I get it. Yeah, we
Hmm.
were molded into that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hmm.
Beingness is beingness. And now you're a new mother, right? Didn't you just have a child?
I have two kiddos. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Now
there's a new hatchling. You're right. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever. When you have your pure baby, do you feel that sense of beingness? When you're holding that, just like it's just like this. It's just like it's a form of just that energetic, not flow, but like that just curiosity, innocence, that pure innocence, right? As a kid, we all know children, we all know how they are and babies. Now, when you're holding that literally came from your womb, do you feel that? Like, do you feel that energy of just like that baby energy.
Well, I mean, I look into her eyes and then there's no one there. Like it's just awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
I
just
feel that
aware.
off of
Yeah.
babies. Yeah, there's
Yeah. You look into
no,
their eyes, there's no one there.
yeah. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean like that, see, like that sounds nihilistic in a way. Like there's
I get
nobody
you.
there.
Let's say there's no beliefs, there's no mind,
Yeah.
there's no projection of what this, they're just here. Awareness in a body, presence
Yeah.
in a body, boundless energy in a body. So it
Hmm.
still has a flavor, a personality, and a character, and pains and gains. Like I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I need to take a crap. Wah! You know, all those things still appear, but it's yeah.
Mm.
There's not like a belief in there of like this is the character I'm going to be. That's why babies can come out with like tempers and certain more happy or passive. It's like innate to their like character, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. There aren't beliefs yet though, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, just like I'm sure you've seen kids, they can have tempers and get upset and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not always like, oh my God, Ave Maria is playing now with the tantrum. No, there's moments where I'm like, oh dear. Oh, take a beat, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Natural,
was
normal.
speaking about like I guess before even not even from other people telling us our identity and having to grow up in the story of who we think we are, but just like that pure baby form, like the cliche
Mhm.
like archetype of a baby, like literally right out the womb. There's
Yeah.
nothing really much other than just the baby, that pureness,
Yeah.
right? I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of that's kind of the essence we're getting at. It's just that pure just wonder, right? Don't babies look like they're wondrous at the world? Their eyes are open. They're just
Oh no, totally.
everything is new. Everything is this new arising moment. It seems like
Yeah.
that's what we're kind of touching upon right now, is that baby like wonder. And I feel that so
Yeah.
I was just asking because
Yeah.
like you literally have this child that came from your womb and you got to witness it. I don't have any kids, so I never really got to witness it, but I can see it in other babies and other people's babies. But
Mm.
probably a unique experience for you.
Well, we can say she came from my womb, but it's like it's still within the dream. It's like there's the appearance of labor and birth and all of these things, but that's where this gets really weird and paradoxical.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't make linear sense at all. Um, but she's not separate from me, but there's
Hmm.
still the appearance of obviously rearing and the role playing and being a mom and all of that. Yeah,
Hmm.
it all happens. Yeah, but there isn't that whole kind of what we would say unconscious I'm above you type of thing. There's definitely an equilibrium of, but they're still taking care of her and all of that. The roles
Yeah.
still appear. Yeah.
Yeah, would you say it's kind of like this whole non-dual perspective we're talking about is being able to deal with paradox? How do you like dance between the paradox of mind
I am the
and
paradox. I don't need to dance between it. It's only the mind that wants to try to figure that out, my love. That's why this is so weird. I mean, like when you're it, you're also the paradox. You're the form. You're everything. Um, yeah. So there isn't like you get it though. So consciousness, self consciousness wants to go. How do I deal with this? How do I deal with the paradox? The mind can't. The one who asks that question, and it's not to like dismay anything, it's just that cannot ever understand what we're talking about, and it cannot see this or hear it. It's when that goes, there's a natural just existing, you could say, natural beingness. And it doesn't need like a formula of how do I deal with the paradox. It is the paradox itself.
yeah.
It doesn't need a formula.
Hmm.
And it's the mind that lives in this huge rift. Think about it. The brain is cut into two hemispheres. It can only operate in black and white. And I'm not there yet, really. How do I get over to that side? You know? And so this is not a mental, like really conversation. All we're really talking intuitively here, because I'm speaking the essence of you that's already fully awake and knows exactly what to do and how to do it. Your infinity, of course, you know what to do.
Hmm.
You just will never know what to do through the limited consciousness mind of this, we say, belief systems, things you read or heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a natural beginner's mind, but you are also as old as time. So you are simultaneously a newborn and an ancient.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
man.
like that.
Mm.
We are the paradox.
Mm.
Mm. Hmm. Don't know what else to say.
Mm. That's okay. It's quite natural for that to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, it's okay.
Mm.
Words dwindle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, how could you explain the benefits of this viewpoint to somebody? What is the biggest thing? I know there's nothing to get, but if you could say, why, why, why somebody's like, what, Anna, why are you saying these things? Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just what's arising. Like
Yeah.
same thing as why do birds have wings?
Mm-hmm.
Why do cardinals sing at dawn? It's just what's arising. It's just what's happening. It
Yeah.
is a mystery. You are left with a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You could say why is what goes.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that happening? Why are they doing that? Why does this need to happen? It's because there really is no outside of here. There is no world. We project a world through self-consciousness, but really this is it, Gary. There is no world outside of us, outside of here. This is literally oneness manifesting as this time space. There is nothing outside of here. Now, when we close this, we get up and go out, the rooms will appear. They're not actually there though. It's like a dream. The floor appears as you walk. There really is no kitchen either, or out, your car outside or whatever. It appears as you show up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
But it's a
sense.
dream. It's a total dream. Yeah.
And are we the same dreamer? Are we the same dreamer?
What does that mean?
Listener? Well, there is a dreamer to the dream, no?
Or
the dreamer.
No one's actually. Well, we could also look at it from this. There's no one asleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's no awakening. So the one who thinks they're asleep is just a thought form. I'm speaking to the lucidity of you. You're not a thought form. So I'm speaking to the lucidity. That's why this is so weird. We're so used to talking to thought forms and egos and minds and persons. Like I'm speaking to presence itself, which obviously is appearing as Anna and Gary right now, and the technology we're operating on.
Yeah. And even the listener too.
And the listener, which doesn't exist right now. But yes, that will seem to appear, and there will be comments and all these types of things and interactions with yourself, because they're yourself too. Yeah. We're all playing a big game with ourselves. Oh my God.
That's what
we're all alone. Really. We're all alone. And so we seem to manifest these characters and stages so we don't feel so alone, because one is the loneliest number.
Oof.
Mm.
One is the loneliest number. We're alone together.
Yeah. But what's cool is, like, if you look at the word alone, put an extra L and create a space, you have all one. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a beautiful manifestation. Yeah.
As you are.
Thanks, man.
As we all are.
Yeah. Well, okay. I got to be honest too, though. There's going to be some appearances. We got to just be honest. There's some ugly appearances. We can't say that there's not. I mean, but that's the beauty of diversity. How would you know beauty without ugly?
Exactly. Yeah.
How would you know hot without cold? You see what I'm saying? But it's not like a judgmental hierarchical thing. It's just like, it's what it is.
It's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like
it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some ugly people out there.
Well, and even creatures and critters and
yeah.
I mean, dude, dude. Yeah, it's like a buffet in a way.
Yeah, the buffet of life. I like that.
Yeah.
Different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you like, some things you don't like, but yeah, it's all part of the buffet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what's so great about this. Like, you can dislike something without being like, oh my God, I'm supposed to like everybody. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, preferences are natural. Yeah. Likes and dislikes are natural.
Yeah, but it's still unconditional love, right?
Oh, totally. There is only that.
How can you describe love? I mean, you said neutrality. I like that. But how could you describe love?
Well, are you talking about like, well, there's unconditional love, which allows, let's say, the personal love, the romantic love, because that still arises too. Yeah. And that's the freedom, is all of this can arise, because sometimes we can have an idea of, oh, once I recognize this, or the seeking drops or whatever, then there won't be any romance. I won't want to take care of my babies and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, all of these things naturally arise. But unconditional love allows it to appear. It's just now the personal love, let's say, the romantic love, let's say, isn't codependent. I don't need you to be fulfilled. Like, we are fulfillment, playing with each other. So that's why a lot of relationships can change or end, or jobs can change or end, because now it's based on authenticity. Mm-hmm. What's organic, not what my mom told me to do or who I was supposed to marry. And I'm just with you because you have money, or I'm just with you because of the kids. Like, it's fucking authentic, which could mean your reality goes to get reformatted, so to speak. Yeah.
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 You ever taken mushrooms?
No.
You ever done any kind of psychedelic?
I did DMT once and cannabis. That's it.
Nice.
Mm.
You think that kind of relates to, like, could you describe your DMT experience? I know you can't describe your DMT experience, but you can you try to describe your DMT experience?
It lasted like 10 minutes. I mean, it was kind of Beatle-y, kind of whatever. I was still there, but there was a little light show stuff going on, but it's nothing about what we're talking about here. Like, if you want a drug experience, do drugs. What we're talking about is just like so simple and immediate and intimate. Yeah, there are no light shows, no bells and whistles, no angels descending or dragons coming out of your wall. Very simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're just experiences, nothing wrong with them, but they're fleeting. What we're talking about here doesn't fleet away. It is. Yeah.
Do you think one can have an experience like DMT, psilocybin, whatever it is, cannabis, and then from that experience have a newfound perspective on themselves without latching onto the experience? Like, there's something that tunes in and drops out, as Tim Leary would say.
I mean, sure. Yeah, that can happen. But what I've seen for a lot of characters is they get codependent to the medicine, and they think they have to keep going back and back, kind of like the ayahuasca things. I've done 100 of them. 100? And you're still seeking? It's obviously not helping. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's hard to say, because for some it can, others it doesn't.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Yep.
Ultimately, yeah, you don't. There's no one that needs it.
No, you don't, because you're already it. But I mean, but here's the deal. You'll take a shroom journey if it's inspiring. You'll take the path of Zen if it's inspiring. Like, the character's going to lean into whatever it's going to lean into. Yeah, it's just going to come to find out, like, I've always been it. I've always been this perfection.
Yeah.
Even going through this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No right, no wrong. It's all oneness is song. Yeah.
Whatever the character has to do, even though there's nothing that we have to do, but whatever the character's path provides for the character to realize that it's been it this whole time. And
yeah, you could say that.
Different levels, different ways to go about it, and different events that'll spring about in someone's life. Right?
Yeah, you could say it's just exhausting, the seeking energy. It's exhausting beliefs. But I got to say, even though when seeking's been seen through, I mean, the practice of Zen can go on, the practice of yoga, whatever was going on before can seem to carry on. It's just seen, this isn't going to bring me closer to it. It's just, wow, this feels good on the body. This is inspiring. This just is just something that feels good. I'm not doing it because guru so-and-so told me to. Like, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So even taking shrooms could still go on, or smoking, or any kind of habit or experience. It's just, you're not going to get more of yourself out of it, because you already are yourself fully.
Yeah.
In that sense, if that makes sense.
In that. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen if it's going to happen, but it's just, you're not going to find what we're talking about here through that. It's just, what we're speaking about is so simple. It's looking through your eyes already. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't need anything in the sense of, more this, more that to reach something. Most of the time, what we're talking about is experiences and consciousness. Yeah.
So I think I already know what you're going to say to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Free will or predetermination? Both or
Predetermined.
neither?
So predetermination means there's a plan before you came in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is only choice when you're aware. If you're living through the subconscious, if you're living through a belief, there's absolutely no choice. You're a robot. You're an automaton. All right. That's why your only safety, your only sovereignty is in this being here, this aware. But that's going to happen when it happens because you can't force it. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by you're going to exhaust all the resources of seeking and books and whatever the character is going to do until it rests and recognizes, oh my God, like this really is it. And that happens when it happens. Unfortunately, that's the shitty part of this, because the mind is always looking for tomorrow, not now, not this, not here.
Yeah.
It's got horse blinders on. It can't fully see, that this is the nakedness of oneness appearing as you and me. Can't see that. It's got too many beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah.
It's not a mental seeing. It's an intuitive seeing. Like you don't need to use your mind for it. Yeah.
Intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You sense it. It's like a spidey sense,
Right?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. There's no thinking, there's no rationalizing, there's no processing.
Right.
Just present.
I mean, you could say there could be a thought that pops up or whatever, but it's just,
But that's not it.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's just, you're so direct. What you are is so immediate and so direct. It's just the seer. You're the seer.
Yeah.
But we've been so trained and conditioned to get lost in thought, in imagination, and fantasy about what this is. Mm-hmm. Imagination's gorgeous, but it will never give you what you really are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you still definitely yearn and want stuff, though, from an outside perspective, right? You're going to still want things out of this humanly vessel as Anna.
Oh, there's still needs and all, like, I need to go to the grocery store and get food, or I need to get a new vehicle or clothes or whatever. Yeah, it's just there isn't that incessant like starvation of the new vehicle is going to make me so much more confident, and the new clothes and the new hat and all. No, it's just, we need a new coat, we need some new tires, that kind of, the chop wood, carry the water goes on. Yeah. And if you want to buy a new house, buy a new house. It's just, you see, those things don't actually bring you lasting fulfillment.
Yeah.
You're the lasting fulfillment when you recognize your timeless nature. And when you recognize your timeless nature, then the appearance and dream of time, it's more enjoyable, you could say, because you're not trying to find yourself through an object.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like, we all just want to be happy here. We all just want to find peace. But the thing is, it's not to be found. It's already.
Well, and it's beyond peace what we're talking about, and beyond happiness in a sense. I mean,
if we could,
because think about it. Then peace is the new little thing dangling in front of us, the carrot, and then it's happiness. I mean, I will say there's a peace that passes, like they say, all understanding, or a contentment. That's why there's spaciousness around the things that appear and arise. But frustration arises here. Anger arises here. I can be tad aggressive sometimes. It's just the nature of my character, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. But if we think that those things need to be gone for me to be liberated or free, now we're living in a shithole, man, because now we're going to be playing tug of war with ourselves, because all of the things that are rising within you that maybe we think need to be gone are the beautiful diversity of oneness, this mystery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it wants to be you. It wants to be Gary. It wants to be Anna. It wants to be the wall. It wants to be the asshole down the road, because that's what's interesting. That's why it's appearing. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's interesting. It's a good show. It's a good game.
You could say that.
So from an outside perspective, how would you describe how your behavior is different? How would somebody that you're close to describe how you are different from this perspective? Because I imagine, and I know, it's always been one current. There is no before and after. But I imagine you didn't speak like this when you were, in your childhood or when you were a little bit younger, right? And you
Mhm.
didn't have this perspective. You went on a quest, right? The Anna that we know, the Anna Brown that we know, was on a quest to be able to arrive here. From my perspective, from the viewers, but like, so like, what to somebody that is in your personal life, a loved one, if they could see a before and after, like, what were you like
Mhm.
before? Is there any kind of difference that someone may notice before and
Yeah.
after of Anna? Are you more loving, more compassionate, understanding with others?
The only thing that fell away was neurosis and psychosis. So I used to have a lot of anxiety, PTSD, depression,
Yeah.
self hatred galore, self sabotage galore. Those are gone. Those started to soften and fall away. There would be instances of like little thunderstorms where they would kind of come in. You know what I mean? But it's because they were really intense. But it just seemed like it started to loosen its grip, loosen its grip, loosen its grip, loosen its grip. So all natural emotions still arise here, but that's the one thing is like that doesn't have that hold. So I'm still sarcastic. Um, I like to crack jokes a lot. Like I still dance. I'm still a dork. I still, like that's still there, that flavor and that personality and that character. Cuss a lot too. Love it. Super love it. But yeah, what fell away was my depression, my doubt, my insecurity, which was never mine to begin with. I'm using that word, but those hand-me-downs, those things that were borrowed, so to speak, for a personal experience, those fell away. But then there's just the authentic natural character, like a willow's a willow, a rose bush is a rose bush. There just
Yeah.
isn't the add-ons of I'm not good being a rose bush. That's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-pity in a way.
Yes, that's what fell away because I was very deeply conditioned for self-pity because that's what my mother was a shining example of.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Woe is me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So nothing, that's the only thing that seemed to stop arising was neurosis.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the flavor's still there, and the things I like to eat and exercising and all of that. Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all a dream.
So row your boat.
row your boat. Yeah. Gently down the stream. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Or fastly, hey, it's up to you. Go for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
sometimes it can be fun. Yeah. Sometimes it can be fun to get all like Olympic style with the canoe, right?
Exactly.
Have you ever seen those Olympic canoe folks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they're intense.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. I can barely go in a canoe just normal. I'm like falling all over the place, Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Whatever speed you like down the stream of life, the river of life, the flow.
Yeah, because each character is different. Some are little like molasses,
Yeah.
This is really fast. I move real fast. Some other characters move like molasses or somewhere in between, but it's all equal expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Missouri, in the United States of America.
The great USA.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because you got like your voice is different. I don't know what it is. Something
Oh,
about
really?
your voice.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Outside of Boston. Yeah.
East Coast. Nice.
East Coast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. You don't have a Boston accent.
No, I try not to.
He's concealing it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've definitely grown out of that. I've tried to, at least, because I don't know. I feel like people from Boston, if you hear the Boston accent all the time, it's like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear "ka."
It's gonna be kind of fun though. I like to do like British accents for fun, do different accents because it's just fun,
Yeah.
There's something fun about it. Yeah.
It's fun, but not if you're from Boston. Like if you're outside of Boston, love it. But like if you're from around here and you've heard it your whole life, it's like, God, man, it just gets old. It's like, say your R's. Come on. Seriously. But yeah, I like being around here. It's a cool place.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
USA, baby.
Yeah.
But,
America.
Go America. But yeah, I mean, on that note, I don't think I really have anything else to say, anything else to ask you. This was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's been a delight. Yeah.
Definitely been a delight, to say the least.
Thanks. You're sweet.
Yeah. You got any last words for the world?
Oh, guys, I love you. Take a look in the mirror and look at those eyes. What's looking back, man, is, well, you could say God in disguise. So
Mm.
look no further than the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Ram Dass says, treat everybody like God in drag. I like that
Yeah.
one.
Gosh, I love that one. It's so true,
Yeah.
though. It's all a costume party. Yeah.
It's all a
Yeah.
giant costume party, and it's a
Yeah.
party, man.
These are rented. We have to return these. So you might as well have a good night. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Just don't harm
Yeah.
anybody while you're doing it, while you're
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah. 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 Tripping might fall, when people have too much to drink, sometimes it gets a little weird, but yeah. Depends on what kind of party you're at.
Yeah, I guess so. But ultimately, it's a costume party. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, yeah, I thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for your
Gary.
energy, your wisdom, your
Yeah.
time. This was
Yeah.
awesome. Thank
Thank you
everybody
too.
listening, and wish you
Thanks,
all the
guys.
best. Keep doing your
Yeah, you
thing,
too, man. Yeah, reach out if you need anything, okay?
for sure.
All
And
right.
have a good day, have a good night, have a good life.
You too. All right.
Peace.
Bye.